again. This is Stephen Welsh, President of the International Chiropractors Association, with the daily update for Wednesday, June 24th. Today, I'd like to begin with some really good news. And a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I just want to let you know, it's really beginning to look like the COVID crisis may be just about over. Well, if you don't believe me, if you're paying attention to the sound bites and the headlines, look for yourself. You see, here's a graph showing the COVID deaths that started to rapidly escalate last March. And they peaked about 4 weeks later. Look where they are now. Well, the obvious conclusion is reaffirmed when you look at the other graph, which shows the total weekly deaths from all causes, with the little red plus signs indicating the number that is above the normal trend. Once again, peaking in March. And once again, now back to normal. Now, I'll give you a more detailed analysis next Monday after I review the next week's data, but I think the trend is going to continue. So anyway, let's continue our journey in search of the truth, and we'll visit the turn of the century, the time when chiropractic was founded 125 years ago, a time when a new science was being born. You see, we're going to review the work of two contemporaries of D.D. Palmer, Max Planck and Albert Einstein. You see, Max was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1918 for his 1900 discovery of energy quanta. And then in 1922, Einstein won the same prize for his 1905 theory that light was a particle that flowed as a wave. You see, it was these two discoveries that opened the door to a new science, quantum physics, or commonly called quantum mechanics. Now, I can hear you thinking, why should I care? Well, these scientists made their discoveries trying to explain naturally occurring phenomena that couldn't be explained by any known physical laws. You know, kind of like how does chiropractic adjustment work? Anyway, I would suggest that there is a correlation to the problem of trying to explain the true nature of the chiropractic adjustment using only 17th century scientific paradigm. And although it took a couple of decades for the brilliant minds of Heisenberg and Schrodinger to develop the mathematical theories, there are actually two classes of phenomena in quantum physics to consider. And they are the wave-particle duality and quantum entanglement. Well, today we will examine the wave-particle duality and use it as a metaphor for some of the basic conflicts that currently exist within the chiropractic profession. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the details of the description of the experiments. You can look them up online. Let's discuss what was discovered and what we can learn. Well, here goes. The question is light a particle or is it a wave? Is light matter or is it energy? Is chiropractic mechanical or is it vitalistic? I would suggest that these are actually all very similar questions. You see, if you argue that light is a wave, you would be right. And if you argue that light is a particle, you would also be right. But if you argue that light is only one or only the other, you would be wrong. This is a phenomena known as the wave-particle duality. So when I hear a few of the chiropractic academics and researchers suggest that we need to have a divorce in chiropractic between the subluxation vitalistic majority in the United States from the mechanistic back pain only minority who are in Canada and Europe, I calmly respond, doesn't that make about as much sense as proposing the divorce between the wavelength and the photon? The bottom line is they are both an expression of the same thing. And if you're only looking for information to prove that light is physical matter, you will find it. And conversely, if you only look for information to prove that light is an energy wave, you will find that too. My point is, proving one premise right does not prove the other premise wrong. Both can be right at the same time. You see, in the Newtonian paradigm, where most people live, something is either this or that. It is either right or it's wrong. But in the quantum paradigm, at any instant, it can be both or neither at the same time? Well, now let's go on and begin to challenge your belief system and talk about some very basic science, something that I think you all know. You were all taught it a long time ago in grade school, and that is, what does an atom look like? Well, it's a nucleus. It's made up of protons and neutrons, and it's got electrons kind of going in an orbit around, right? Well, not so fast. You see, in the Newtonian model, that is how it is described, but that is not how it really is. You see, in reality, we now know that is actually quite different. You know, those electrons, the ones orbiting the nucleus, they only exist as a cloud of probability, a cloud of where they might be found when you're looking for them. You see, there are places where they might be, and there are places where they can't be. And sometimes those particles can even appear on the other side of a barrier without even going through the barrier. Yes, it defies our common sense, but in some cases, the truth does not always fit into our current belief system. And the nature of reality is not always what we think it is. Well, anyway, that's my update for today. Tomorrow, we will continue our journey in search of the truth, and we will take a look at an experiment conducted in 1982, almost 40 years ago, and discuss the concept of quantum entanglement and ask the question, can anything travel faster than the speed of light? Meanwhile, please reach out and connect with the ICA. We are here for you to help you help your patients, because they still do need that reassurance that there's no need for mass panic. And don't forget, you are truly their beacon of hope. And we will get through these challenging times, and we will do it by working together. Thank you.